My mum is an amazing cook, and when I worked in a job back in Leighton Buzzard in Bedfordshire in the 90s, Indian food wasn't as prominent as it is right now. So every time I came to visit mum here in Leicester, she would make food for me, and then whatever was left over, I'd take back to the office with me. On Monday morning, as soon as I opened my lunchbox, my staff would devour everything that was in there. Then it got to a point where people were saying, Jake, if you're going home, I've got a dinner party this weekend. Would you mind making a dozen samosas or 2 dozen bhajis for me or whatever for me to serve at the dinner party, because I don't taste anything like the ones I bought from a local supermarket. So really, that's how the business started to grow. And I was buying from delis and selling on to friends. And then very shortly after my wife came on board, we were making product together at weekends. And then the day off that I had in the week, I was out selling the product to customers. I'd always wanted to own my own business, always wanted to run my own business, be the captain of my own ship. And I guess it was something that we knew that we had to do. We weren't frightened of that commitment. And that's, I think, probably why I wanted to go into business. I was prepared to work hard, but I wanted to do it for myself. I decided to go into the business full time after my brother graduated from University of North London in Business and Economics. As soon as he came on board, I actually had my wife and my brother both at the helm of the business in the little factory unit, still producing product. I was out there, still had my full-time job, and I was still out there developing new contacts, creating new business. Then we couldn't continue in the little unit that we were because we'd outgrown that little unit. But actually the business wasn't sustainable enough to take on my wages as well as their wages. So I made the leap of faith. We took over a brand new unit, which was 17.5 times bigger than the unit that we were in, which looking back on it now was a little bit of madness. But we took that over. We completely refurbished everything in there. We put everything that we had financially into it to build it. We built it, and in August 2001, we opened up the new factory. We all had different roles within the business, and we all assumed those roles. And it wasn't that we got those roles because we were family. My wife worked for a big restaurant chain. Brother had graduated with all these fancy ideas of what he wanted to do within the business. So he took over the commercial side of things. My wife took over the manufacturing side of things. And then I took over the sales side of things, which is where my expertise came from. We're a food manufacturing business. So we manufacture food from raw ingredients every day for big restaurant chains, for airlines, for retailers. And then we have our own brand, Jake and Names, that we predominantly manufacture for. We've been to the trenches a few times, as I'm sure every single business has. Our business would not have survived if it were not for the people that made up the helm of the business in there, and the hours and the commitment and the pressure that they've done it under. We're all in it for life because I'm one person and I have a set of values and a set of visions in there. My brother and my wife have very different attitudes. What we all do share is the same vision. How we get to that vision is completely different. It does give for lively debate, but it's a respectful debate. It's not about egos. It's about, this is where the business is today. This is where our next objective is. How do we get to that objective? And I might sit there with a great idea, and it might be fantastically visionary. And I sit back and I say that, and actually one partner will say this and one partner will say that. And we do come through to a conclusion. But because we've had that respective debate, everybody's got their buy-in on it. Everybody feels a part of it. And I say that's what's gotten us to where it is. We don't want to be a small business. We want to be a big business. And I think that's really key for us, that we are a family business that wants to grow. And if I look at some of the most successful family businesses out there, Sandwith Brothers being a prime example of all of that, we want to be a big business. So we knew that in order to reach where we wanted to reach, we'd have to put a great deal of investment on board. And we were prepared to do that. If I look at the challenges that we face in the business on a daily basis, they're there every single day. It could be a new food regulation challenge that we're having to face. So my technical guys are having to relook at what we're doing with regards to salt content or sugar content or calorie content and things like that. What we have learned over a period is to build partnerships, to build structures whereby we're able to talk to other businesses that we can learn from. Because actually, do you know what? Every business has been through a lot of the things that we're going through. Yeah, okay, we sell food. Tomorrow it could be someone selling shoes, and they'll have been through the same growth processes that we've been through and faced a lot of the same issues that we went through. It doesn't matter what size of business you are, we all go through similar situations. And if I'm honest with you, I would rather learn from another business who's been there, seen it, done it, than look at a textbook or look at a paper or whatever else in there. I think businesses that have been through those wars and those challenges themselves, have come to that conclusion, and then you can judge whether that's the right attitude for you or not in there. The other part of it, where we've had these challenges, we haven't been frightened to look at, say, okay, look, I've hit my glass ceiling on that. I know where my expertise was. Actually, where that expertise is slightly different to where I was. I'm not a jack of all trades. I want to be an expert in that area. If I can't do that, maybe I need to bring an expert in place. And through that, and through a series of that kind of infrastructure and that kind of homogenization with other small businesses and other family businesses in there as well in particular, you start to develop what's right and what's wrong for your business, and hopefully head off issues that were probably down the line for you.